After watching dozens of videos about Google Maps scrapers, I kept seeing the same thing. Everyone talks about scraping thousands of places, collecting email addresses, and boosting productivity. But few talk about real problems. No real scalability, scraping tied to your IP address, limited filters, steep learning curves. Maybe it's time to dig deeper. Let's go beyond basic info. Let's talk about the data that really matters. The kind of data that helps you segment, personalize, and enrich your database.
Today we are comparing two tools, TexAu and Scrap.io. How do they work? What kind of data can you actually extract? Which one is the best scraper? Hi, I'm François, and today we are diving into TexAu and Scrap.io. Let's start with the basics. What are TexAu and Scrap.io? I won't bore you with a never-ending generic description. What's more interesting is this. What do their landing pages tell us? Let's compare both titles, shall we? For TexAu we can read, find leads anywhere, reach people everywhere. And on Scrap.io, Google Maps leads generator. Here are the main difference between the two.
If he drops an S, I get a point.
Technically, TexAu isn't a Google Maps scraper. It's a general automation that includes Google Maps automation, among other things. If I had to describe it more precisely, I would say that it's similar to Phantom Buster or to Apify, meaning you build your workflow, so you get more flexibility, but if something goes wrong, that's on you. Scrap.io, on the other hand, scrapes Google Maps, and Google Maps. No installation, no setup, just plug and play. A demo will probably say more than 1,000 words. Let's dive into the tutorial. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to compare concretely both tools. So I have two open tabs, TexAu and Scrap.io. Might I suggest we start with TexAu because scraping data is a tiny bit more complex. Based on what I've understood, you have two main tabs, Data Store, in which you will find all the leads you have retrieved so far, and Workflow, in which you can create your workflow. Let's get started. First we need to scrape Google Maps, so it's within the Google category, Google Search Results Scraper, Google Maps Review Scraper.
If he drops an S, I get a point.
Google My Business Scraper, Google Maps Search Exports, Google Maps Search Exports. Good, now we need to set it up. I input a Google Maps search URL and a results extraction limit. 80 is the maximum. Here is my link. I paste it and let's go for 10 leads, just for the sake of the example. Output, let's check it out really quick. New results are appended at the end of the previous and merged to a single CSV file, why not? New results are outputted as separate CSV file after each extraction, so this is exactly the other way around. Overwrite makes sense. Deduplicate, delete duplicate rows between each extraction. Yes, please. So once we have this automation, we need to add another step, of course, and this step will be to scrape email addresses. By default, it's only a Google Maps search export, meaning you have access to most of the data, most of the information available in a Google Maps page and nothing else. So no email addresses or no social networks, which can be found by crawling the website. I select a platform, website email and social link scraper, websites accounts, it's optional. However, what is not optional is the website URL. I don't allow multiple inputs, only one at a time. And as an input, where is it? Website URL. Select crawl depth. So in the same way as on Phantom Buster, you have different crawl depth from 0 to 2 usually, but in that case it's from 1 to 3, meaning 1, you only visit the home page, depth is equal to the home page and the about and the contact pages, and depth 3 is equal to the whole site. So I can perfectly set up the depth to 3. The problem is that it's going to consume a lot of resources, a lot of credits, which we don't have that much. Depth is equal to 2 seems to be Fair enough. And it could be all, but what can be interesting to add is to link the result we are going to retrieve with a Google spreadsheet. I select another platform. It's not an automation, it's much more like an integration. Here it is, Google Sheets. Probably sheet output appends a new row to the bottom of a table. That's good for me. I have already signed in with Google. This is why my Google Sheets account has already been related to TexAu. So let's do the same thing for the spreadsheet now. Maps results, the sheet name, sheet 1. Oh, and one last thing. I've forgotten to tell you, of course you have to share your Google spreadsheets to make it public, because otherwise it's not gonna work. I select all the data here too, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now we can run the workflow and see if everything is working. In the meantime, let's make a demo on Scribe.io. In my opinion, Scribe.io delivers a smoother experience. So here is your dashboard. That's where you can make your Google Map requests.
If he drops an S,
And as you can see, each request is divided into 5 parts: activity, country, level 1 division, level 2 division, and city. Activity is a Google Maps category. You have access to up to 4,000 different Google Maps categories, so I can perfectly go for the same one, restaurant. That's a very popular category, but you will quickly notice that you have access to a lot of different kinds of restaurants if you want to. Same thing for the country, so let's go for the United States. Level 1 division represents the states, and level 2 division represents the counties. So we have called them this way, level 1 and level 2 division, because obviously if I pick up another country, the name state and county won't make any sense, right? And here is the best part regarding Scribe.io. Depending on your plan, you can perfectly scrape data at a very large scale. Let's make an example. So I can scrape restaurants in Nashville. I click on search with only a couple of clicks. I am about to retrieve 1700 results. If I have the proper plan, I can also scrape data based on an entire county. And it seems I don't have the proper plan. Or actually I have the proper plan, but in the US, the level 1 division is required when searching with level 2 division. So let's go for Tennessee and then the county. And now it is working. I can also scrape data based on an entire state. So can you just imagine a second what will happen if you are able to scrape Google Maps data at the scale of an entire country? Just imagine a sec. Let's come back to TexAu, it's almost over. What kind of data can we actually extract? The import search, the extract limit, okay. Company name, the rating, the reviews counts haven't been extracted.
if he drops an S,
For whatever reason, the point is that if there is a rating, obviously there is a review count somewhere. Thumbnail, description, not available, really. Let's take the first one as an example. And here is your description. So yes, it is available. For whatever reason, one more time, it hasn't been scraped. The address, place ID, website URL, phone number, opening hours, latitude and longitude claimed. In other words, if the owner has created a Google business profile, black owned, LGBT friendly, women owned. The pins, let's call them this way. Website URL, input crawl depth, company name, email addresses, telephone, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Linktree, and Markdown output, whatever that means. Okay, so in overall, it's a good database. Unfortunately, some data fields remain a bit enigmatic. What's more is that you cannot filter your data out. I mean, you can filter your data out, but only once you have exported them, which is a bit weird, is it not? Let me explain. If I go to the data store, I can add some filters. The problem is that no matter what I'm doing from now on, I have already consumed my credits. On the other hand, on Scribe.io, you can have access to some filters, but these filters apply before exporting your data. Essential filters and advanced ones. I want to get restaurants only, closed permanently, No. With an email address, why not? And with a rating above or equal to 3 stars. So all that remains to do on your part is to click on export. You give an export name. You can set up an exported lines limit if you want to. You click on export. It's going to take a bit of time, and all the exports you have done so far can be found in the My Exports tab. So as you can see, usually I'm only making some samples in the purpose of YouTube videos mostly, but to show you a proof that you can scrape data at a very large scale. These are all the US restaurants with a Facebook account, and here were all the French restaurants, and that's quite a huge number. And as you know it by now, scraping large extractions work as flawlessly as small ones. Okay, enough talking, now it's time to take a look at what we have. The name, the description. You see the description is available, is closed permanently, the main type on all types, the website, the phone number, the time zone, the full address which is divided into different subtypes, the coordinates, the link, owner ID, place ID, email addresses, Facebook link, YouTube link, Twitter link, Instagram link, LinkedIn links, first seen on, meaning when our crawler has seen the Google Maps page, price range, reviews ID, reviews count, reviews rating. You see the reviews count is available too, the reviews per score, the photos count, photos, occupancy, working hours, characteristics, SEO related data, additional email addresses, additional contact pages, additional social media links, and you end up with website technologies and website ad pixels. To sum it up, Google Maps scraping clearly isn't TexAu's top priority. I do like the fact that you can export data straight into a Google spreadsheet, but that's pretty much where the pros stop. You can't get past the 80 results limit. You will need to chain another automation just to scrape email addresses. I mean, just why? And filters, they are only available after you have pulled the data, which kinda sucks because by then you have already burned your credits. Thank you for playing. If you want something GDPR compliant, if you want to collect leads at scale, if you want a no-brainer solution, go to scrap.io, and always remember, your first 100 leads are 100% free. This is the end of the video. If you have enjoyed it, you can subscribe. There is nothing else to see.
Bingo!
Bye.